Hello and welcome. Today's date comes in that of Monday, 24th day of February 2020. My name is Derek. This is the Money Charts channel. All bets trades. That's within your own risk, your own reward. For myself, risk reward management is always job number one. And I want to talk a little bit to start within, of course, risk reward management, and that of how much I hold in, call it investing value within my control and not within my control. And 7.74% or 7.72%, as if that matters, is no exact number, of my portfolio I don't own. That's tied up on Bittrex, Binance, and DraftKings. And they each are around the same, which I find interestingly enough as well. And amongst such, that's funds to play fantasy hockey. Those are funds that to day trade with just a little bit. And unfortunately, Hadar Hashgraph, I have trying to find a way to get that on a hardware wallet. I haven't, but majority of the coins, well, all the other coins, other than that one, I hold with my private keys. All right, then. So we'll get to those in a little bit. We're going to do Bitcoin, gold, silver, and a few of the alts. But let's go over this really quickly. On the yearly term time frame for Bitcoin, well, on Bitstamp, it's year number 10. So there's still about 8 more years before that 18 average can come into play. But after this green candle up, a little bit red one down, a little pausing of it. I like how in the early parts, I guess we could call it maybe 1/7, 1/8 of the way through the year, it has had a decent progression moving higher, moving up big. We could probably see another one of these two types of green candles either within this or the next period. On the quarterly, we can see we've had the 18 catch up in here and nice little bull run. And it's been correcting within it ever since it came down to it in the July 2018, if not the April 2018 move down in here. And over the last 3 quarters, has been hanging in there, staying within the 18 average of highs after this nice little rally of April of last year. We take a look at this on the monthly chart. We've had from this correctionary move below the 18 after this nice run, above, within, and now trying to escape it above it. And if you get a nice little break above it and successfully correct like this and start to leave, that's just a beautifully amazing setup. And let's take a look at this next at the weekly term time frame, and nice holding stand in there over this last 3 weeks from these 2 green candles up, and really from the whole entire run from the December point of view. Let's take a look at this. Let's have the Fibonacci lines from the key high here and this low, and use the Coinbase exchange for such, which is the same price. And we're hanging in there very well within this 98.14 level. So congesting, hanging in there within it. And now that you've had the move from these lows near the end of last year, start of this year, within this, so you have this correctionary sideways move. Where do we go from here? Well, breaking support or resistance is either or. And breaking of support, well, now we're going to talk about retracement from this low to this high. And that 77 area, I've talked about it before. This is a quick analysis. Not going to talk more about it. We'll talk later about it. You can watch my older videos. And then, of course, getting out above this next key level is 12,856. Let's take a look at a few comments here. And this is from my previous video. Windfall, man, you nailed it on your Tezos charting. It hit your exact target. Love your analysis. Never any pumping, just great unbiased stuff based on where the charts are going. Been watching your stuff for years. Tezos is my alt horse for 2020. The charts look great for it still, and I see it doing Ethereum 2017 type games. I'm laughing and I'm saying this because I talked about this yesterday with somebody about coins that just make the top 10. I'll say exactly when we get to the part of Tezos what I mean by that, because I'm thinking the same sort of deal too. And when the crypto bull rally really gets going, Tezos has great fundamentals also. When you say that, this is the exact same thing I'm saying to the person that I had this exact conversation with. Yeah, well, a lot of these people, smart people, these are people in the whatever field of understanding the technical, not the fundamental point of view that I don't give a shit rat's crap about or understand it too much. Seem to talk decent about it. So you know what, that works well for me. And then sell all crypto and buy gold. Once the virus goes viral, they may kill the internet. And internet being killed? Alrighty then. Think what you will. Oh yeah, the power going down. Oh, that would be bad for Bitcoin. Fiat currency. I think I can handle the power going down. But that's going to happen though for extended period of times. I live in a world where I expect power to go down, hydro, for short to intermediate term time frames. Very rarely. I've went a couple days without hydro before. That's about the longest I've ever been, and I always have 11 liters of fresh water and other miscellaneous stuff. I could go longer. And getting water without hydro is easy to do as well. But yeah, so all crypto. Oh man, see, my risk reward management knows. I'm going to talk about how I believe cryptos are going to absolutely nothing as a long-term possibility. But I know if that happens, it's going to be. I'm going to have some while it does it. I'm just going to profit take on the way there. Meaning, I'm expecting fully a major big bulk Bitcoin pump breaking 20,000, going to 60, 80, 100. Who knows on that leg higher? If that happens, all coins working the way there, the profits that I'm going to get is just going to be magnificent. I will be converting some of it, not all of it, into that of outside of crypto space, precious metals and other miscellaneous assets, non-crypto base, and so on and so forth. But is it the time to sell cryptos, Bitcoin especially? To buy gold? Well, if we're looking at analysis of the chart on the daily term time frame, the signs are really, it's on the early stages. Like 593 was one of the ones, but maybe more importantly around 578. It's only got about 1.5% to go. It looks like we're going to be filling some of this empty space. Maybe a 61.8% correction in here. I think we have a price target maybe of going down to 528. Then that's not going to make me sell any of my Bitcoin to buy any of that of gold. In fact, I was doing that. It's when I was doing that up in here. I was doing most of that. So I'm just gonna keep waiting for that to happen. I'm gonna look to probably sell more of the Bitcoin for gold when it goes higher, because maybe it goes down a little bit. But to me, I totally believe that gold is controlling the market. Now, as far as what gold looks like against the U.S. dollar. It's up over 2% today. 1.98 right now. As at 8:31 a.m. Eastern Time on the state. February the 24th, which I already stated. All right, day number 5 in a row. But really 2 decent days in a row. Yesterday was 1.46%. Day before that, 0.5. Day before that, 0.62. And the day before that, 1.32. As it's lifted from the 18 average of lows around 1580 something. 16 3/4. We've had an intraday high of 1689 so far, and this day is just beginning. On the single hour term, the market gapped up on the session, pulled back, and then from 1 o'clock in the morning all the way through 4 o'clock, it would have been a nice little rally, getting above the key Fibonacci point. So first the resistance is this level. Now can this be support, or can it be chopped, or can it be congested? Support meaning you support this area. Congesting meaning you really resist above here and we support down here. And really this area becomes somewhere near the middle. And it just stays around there for a while. But it's been such a very nice, decent up run so far. Back to the comments. Great work as always from Edward. Thank you. And then Basstown Nix, I believe, awesomely epic. Again, thank you very much. Now for the year, gold's up 10% for the year so far. Bitcoin's up over 20. And Tezos is up over 70 against Bitcoin for the year. Let's take a look at Tezos next. And let's bring it up against the dollar. Something I haven't shown on here. In fact, something I've never even looked at until... well, now I'm looking at other time frames on this for the first time. At least I might have quickly looked at this before. I can't remember. But $3.28 for a Tezos. And we had the price earlier, a week ago, as low as 2 3/4. It rallied a few days ago up to a point of about $4 or so. But since then, we can see that this support in here, well, coincides big time with this level of resistance. We've had the rally that occurred 2 days ago, or a day and a half ago, 2200 hours, 2100 February 22nd. managed to get barely above this high and then come into its correctionary phase where it was unable to get going on this round in here, breaking above the highs, and then it pulled back, resisting the lows, but pretty much holding and staying above it. And then another attempt to get above it, which occurred last night at 6 p.m. Eastern time, and boy, was that a failed breakout, because when it was going down in here, support area of this level did not happen. Previous low support did not happen. Not only did that not happen, we haven't even resisted it. At least not as of yet. It might, because breaking this short-term resistance, well, that's the next level I'd be looking at, which would be about 340. But from this down move, how have we reacted? Just a sideways range, staying within it. 18 is caught up. It's got a decent amount even still for this to go sideways. If you see after a sustained amount of time like this that it starts to go lower, I'd be looking for this to, have another leg down. Let's take a look at this. Let's do a 3-hour term time frame, and we can see the up run over the last couple of weeks. We've seen, at least on this scale, 2 and 2/9 up to again 4. That's probably the all-time high now. At least all-time high since that we're going to see on this trading view, or since Binance has got in touch with it. I didn't even realize Tesla was around in 2017. I just heard about this coin months and months and months ago. Anyway, it's reached the top 10. And I find that very interesting. The top 10, I noticed a few days ago. Now, maybe it's not anymore on the decline, but either way. It was a little concerning, but not really, in the sense that, wow, it's that high already? I mean, no, well, I've seen so many coins go so much higher on that coin market cap ranking board, to the point where they're in the top 10, or they're the top 30. Even XBY making the top 100 way back when. Maybe not have heard of it. If you're on my channel for a while, you have. But just coins that were way out of wacko becoming noticeable more so. And more times than not, they'll have a decline from there. But then I was thinking last night about Ethereum for about 20 minutes about it. On how, when that one made the top 10, that one didn't look back. It did not look back. And I can remember so many other ones making it in there, and then down it goes. In fact, I can't remember the names of them, but it's been like 4, 5, 6, 7 times, just different occurrences, where there has been just beautiful rises and falls, especially when, of course, you want to look at being the trading game amongst that mechanism. 3-hour time frame, we're seeing the weakness on the 18 as it's going sideways, to hang with a little bit of downward trend in here, meaning the support in here might be over welcoming the support at this level. Maybe we have to come down to this next level down in here. That looks like the most probable thing at this stage on the 3-hour term. On the daily chart, it has had just a beautiful sustained run. This is the entirety of it. We come in here at 90 cents. This decline, a little bit of a failed breakdown in here. But here's a coin that was about $1. Then the coin becomes $1.18, then $1.60. $1.25. You know what? They just move like this. Let's take a look at Ethereum just for something to do against the dollar, of course. And we'll do so in its early infancy, and you really can't count too much about this, but we can see its early days. It got up to $2.50. I'll scroll it back like this, and this 18 line really makes it hard to see. But we did have a $2.50 high. It then proceeded to go down to 41 cents in October of 2015. And then we had to rally all the way up to $1.33, and then we stayed there for all of the rest of October, all of November, all of December, all of into January, and then it broke out. We got past this. We could see how it left the 18 average, and it got to 2 and change. Okay, nice. We're to 2016 now, $2.50 coin. No, a 5 2/3 coin. These things can move up nice. Pulled back down to 4, and then we're back to previous highs, showing strength on the highs, and then it goes up to 14, and we're into 2016, $11 coin, $8 coin, $7, just having your normal volatility back to this previous high in here, and then we even make a move up to $20 in 2016, and then we just have a decent sustained run of just hanging in there, going sideways, because you established support at the time at 6 4/9, and even a little stronger at 9 1/9. Oh, fractions are fun. And then resistance as high as 20 8/9, and then good resistance at about little under 15th and 1/9 because it's about 15 and 1/13 or so. Anyway, it just had this sideways movement, and then we broke support. It looks like no. This is weird. I wish I could fix that. Just delete the first few periods. But then what happened in 2017? Oh yeah, that rally. Yeah, the comment. What was that comment? The 2017 Ethereum type gains. So let's just take a look at those 2017 type gains. So we started the year off December 20th. I had a little bit of gain. Now, things didn't pick up in cryptos until roughly around in here, March the 1st. At the stage, I got into cryptos roughly around in here, February 22nd or 23rd. That's when I started trading, day one. And I looked at Poloniex. That was the market I was trading on. Only one. I just put a small amount on there, very small deposit. And I looked at every single crossing against Bitcoin that they had. There was about 115, 120 of them at the time, on that day. And a lot of them were in just bear markets. And then everything just happened. So now we're in the same sort of deal, it seems, that some of these coins are showing these very similar kind of patterns where, today's February 24th. It's almost my 3-year anniversary. Never thought about that till now. But a lot of this is looking very deja vu-like within it. Some of these coins are having these early kind of moves. This is one that has doubled in value, and then this happened. Just into April, went up to $40 like that. And then we continue further. 123 into May. 300. Oh, okay. Are we done yet? No. Because the market went up to, actually it was done. I thought, no, yeah, because I remember it went to 1,000. 1,500. When these things go, they have the potential to have fantastic moves. Now, another little thing of note, double bottoms. I don't know what people call this, a double bottom. I don't know. Maybe people call that a double bottom. That's a second hit in previous low of support. And technically, this one here didn't even reach the previous low. But then you go back up and you break this neckline. Meaning, this baby breaks above here. You start to see Ethereum above like 410, 420. Watch out. Well, while we're at it, let's look at the Ethereum against Bitcoin, then cross back to Tezos against Bitcoin. Double bottom. Speaking of which, I'm just noticing this for the first time. I may have seen it before. Here's that type of situation. It doesn't have to be an exact low. It can be a pierce above. This case, it can be a pierce below. Or it can be an exact or pretty much exact hit. This is a noticeable pierce above, but very close to previous low. You break it. Convincing move to next key level is what you expect. It ended up having a convincing move to, now we're at this previous level, which is now its new key level resistance, which can even go up to this 30 handle, even a little bit higher. But as far as this empty space, this was at, and this is going to 0.11. That's about a 4x move to get to that level. How it holds this run higher, it's huge. That's important because, really holding any of this area if it goes down, because it's congesting this little point in here. But I like how the last 2 or 3 or 4 periods, this looks pretty interesting to say the least. Okay, that's Ethereum class. That's Ethereum. I'm not going to show Ethereum Classic today because I'm already almost 20 minutes in. I got other stuff I still need to cover. Tesla's against Bitcoin. And really these lines I don't think are active anymore. Or are they? I think they're lines from this high. So I want to recalculate it. But I'm just trying to decide which lows do I choose. I think I want to choose these ones here. Nice little point A low, point B high, point C low, point D high. So we've had 1 key high, 1 key low, 2 key highs. Now we're making a new one. So I'm going to do it within this low here. We have 853. And we're going to calculate a high, or search the high, 4,073 it looks like, which is interesting that it came up to that point, but that could, if this thing supports here and lifts off higher, that's going to be a wrong call if you think of it that way. It'll be technically not really, because if this doesn't resist much and it shoots up to like 8, 9, 10,000, that's normal. Where if you don't resist where you're supposed to or support where you're supposed to, you have continued acceleration within that direction. The moves to next levels are usually fast and furious. This actually was a movie called Fast and Furious in the past. Most people do know about that. And here we have these Fibonacci numbers, and I'm going to remove drawings. See, usually people would say most people don't know about that, but not many people say most people do know about that for obvious times when they actually do. Also, there's a sequel too. You probably heard about that. 2816 is the... And when I make these Fibonacci lines, generally what I'm usually like to do if I can, is I'll have directions of the two numbers. So in here, 2816, I would put, drawing it like this, and on the settings, I'm just going to put its exact number in. And then the next one below that is the 618, which is 2242. So I'm going to direction it a little bit further like this. And I'm just going to... And 2242 happens to coincide with a decent pierce below of this high and the congestion area for this level. The 2816, well, that low is 2845. It's not that great, but that's good. I mean, it's normally doesn't pierce above. That's why. Anyway, I just usually look when I make these Fibonacci's. Are they at key levels? More times than not, they usually are. 1550 is the next. I'm not going to put the one in below that. In the emergency situation, when I think that, or if it's in danger of going there, I even think 1550 is going to be touched. But I'll draw it in. There we have it. And while we're at it, I might as well put another line above that. So what would the calculation be? I don't got it written in here. I'm going to have to use a different calculator to do it, but I can do it relatively fast. A spreadsheet or Google will do it. For whatever reason, I don't know why, but I don't know about this calculator. I can't find x to the power of y on here, which sucks, because y, the next one is 0.846, which is what I'm going to use. So basically, I'll just put 4703 here, 853 here. It's 15.4%, so I have to take the inverse of it. So that's why it's 84.6. So this would be like 4 and 4 ninths. I'm probably way off. But actually way off, 4 3/4. 4 3/4. This number to the exponent of this, multiply the low of 853, gives us 3,201. Really 3,202 if I want to round it technically. So I'll stick another even smaller line in here. And see how this baby performs. And I guess if I want to have some more fun with it, what would be the next number? Well, I'll show you how we come up. Actually, it's should be 1 minus 14.5% actually. But let me just verify that, because how Fibonacci is calculated is we would take this number, multiply that number again. And I'm putting the dollar signs in, so when I copy and paste it always keeps it. So previous number multiply 61.8. 14.5. Yeah, so let's adjust this to 3246. And then the 90.9%. That came in at 35.32. And we'll take a look at this on a shorter term level with all these annoying but useful lines in. Okay, so to me it looks like we have a little bit. So let's take a little further decline. It's got to go down below this line most likely. It has broken down below this barrier here. 3-hour chart from this decline, those sideways, we can see it breaking down on this hour here, resisting this previous level of support. Hourly term time frame, it looks to me, I mean, more times you test a area of support or resistance, the more likely you take it out. We got this one, we got this one, and we got this one breaking down now. It looks to me as if it's going to be very soon another 100-point drop, 90-point drop that's going to be coming minimum. Because it probably is going to pierce below. How we're going to settle in here, I think we probably will. Meaning maybe we have a decent pierce to 31 and recovers back higher. Those things can easily play. If we don't find support here, 28.16 I suppose is the next level. But normally I would go big on the Fibonacci, but 29, this is previous lows a little above it. So but 28.16 is the next key point. On the 15-minute term, we can... we're just seeing here how well this Fibonacci did play out, what, 35.32, how it's coming down. And now what's the number above that? Just because I can do it, 5%. So that's 9,443 will go. So 37.33. You can see it was, whatever. I mean, really technically speaking, 36.71 was a mathematically better number. But still... there's your Tezos. Now, as it goes, I'm looking at how I'm holding my portfolio because, as I mentioned on the start of the video, just a very, very small percentage of my funds in precious metals, cryptos, and everything is held outside of my control. As far as, well, it's in my control as supposed, but literally speaking, it isn't mine. Binance, the cryptos aren't mine. Now, if I withdraw and put in my wallet, they become mine. And I have the access to do that, and I've always gotten funds pretty much when I wanted them. But Cryptopia was definitely not a fun story. So at any time, something, well, not fun can happen. And, well, if things happen like that, whether it's I got funds in my hardware wallet that I know they're secured, I like that. But I like to have a few funds. I've been really starting to get into day trading a little bit. Yesterday, I day traded this for a 5% gain. I played on the Ethereum market. Then I bought my funds to buy AOIN. Then I traded against Ethereum. Then I settled up against that of Binance coin. So this was what I traded yesterday. It's been going down since, so it worked out well. I got in on the morning and I left Sunday morning and I got out of it in the middle of the day. Yeah. So yesterday morning being the 23rd. So I would have got into it in here at like 581 handle, and then I ended up settling out in here, and that was it for the day. Kind of worked out, I suppose, but I thought this had a really good, and it probably still does, a really good setup. You can see how it goes in here, starts to break out. I see it how it was nicely leaving on the 18. I liked how it was supporting in here, so I thought, you know what, give it a shot, have some fun with it. But there's also a thing called Hadara hash graph, and I've always been a big Mike Maloney fan, and he comes out with that video in 2017, and I see it on there, and I want to play coins that I know it could be extremely volatile, have the type of a funny money kind of vibe to it, and that's what I'm doing. And I looked at the value of it. I actually sold a little bit of it yesterday. But also I realized I have way too much funds in Binance, and I need to find a way to put it in a private wallet, but I really haven't figured that out yet. I see things about putting it, and I don't want to put it on my cell phone. No way, no how. I've never, ever had even a Satoshi of crypto on my cell phone, and nor do I plan to until I need to, and I don't really want to right now. So then, I thought, why don't I just put the funds on Bittrex instead, as I have half of my value that basically my value of my Bittrex to my Binance ratio is about the same now. Because Binance, I just bought a whole bunch of Binance coin, just play around with that, day trade with that, plus a little bit of coins here and there. having a bit of Bitcoin Cash on Binance is just so easy and fun. And when you look at the withdrawal fees, not like they're that expensive, but if I got like a little bit of Dash, I know it's not too expensive, but it kind of is. So I'd rather just maybe keep a bit of it on there. And it takes 20-30 minutes to deposit those coins. So I like to have a little bit on there. But when I buy coins, if I buy on Binance and I'm like got just a little bit, I'm just going to keep it on there. If the funds get too high, it's like, okay, maybe I should withdraw it in my wallet. And I do. Then you got coins like Theta, which don't take too long to deposit into funds. So yeah, that's what I did. And so part of my management is I just put different notes. I'm like, I got into PivX, by the way. I'm trading that against HBAR and something else, HBAR. And let me find out. Theta. These are the 19 crosses that I'm trading. So part of my risk reward management was, at first I'm like, okay, buy $150 more of PivX than I did. And then I'm like, okay, I took out this many much of HBAR, added this BNB, add this. And then I don't know what the 28,000 number was. So these are just fun things that I like to do. Risk reward management, again, is always job number one. Now, as far as HBAR is concerned, I suppose I should put Fibonacci in here as well. Make this the final part of the video. I guess we have a low of 116, it looks like. 115, 114. We'll take 114. And we'll have a high of 807. Okay, key numbers. Well, first one was 508. Keyword now is has been on the was. So we'll just put the 508 and I clicked the line to draw and it just vanished. I mean, I probably should just keep it at that, but I do like exact numbers. Here we go. And then we have 382. I guess that's where we're heading off to. No, we got very bid down there. No, we're going to 380. Pretty close to it before. That's odd. That is so odd to have a pierce above like that. And I'm seeing it more often, I suppose, but not enough where it's... I mean, technically it should be 50-50 random. The same amount above versus the same amount below. That's why I find it very fascinating why it always has been piercing extra over and over and over again. Because I can't explain why that would be the case. I can't even explain why the Fibonacci's just work the way they do so well. And I'm not going to put the 76.4 down one. I suppose in looking at it from this point of view in here, it would probably go down if we're going to find some support, maybe congested 344. The must-hold area most certainly is 241. It coincides with this most previous high. And that's what I'm oftentimes looking for. This level here... I mean, there's just so much congestion area in here that how does it not congest anywhere in this ballpark area? But, yep, that's how it goes as far as this Fibonacci line is concerned. It's worked out well, but surprise, surprise that it didn't go much further down. So if anyone knows of any way of putting Hedera, what I did is I reduced some of its crossings. I added it with PivX. PivX is just one that I think is... relatively interesting. It's also one of my funny money plays in which that this is something that I think, well, hasn't had its move up yet, like some of the other coins are, but I think has the potential to have some fantastic moves. I like how it's starting to progress and work its way through. It's got a long ways to go here, not only from this side, but if we put in the Bittrex crossing, it's got the history. But it had its move before. Its 2017 run. It was epic. And I even have some of its older lines in here. But yeah, that was just something I had in the past. Whether the way I look at it is these things can do one of three things. One, it can go up, it can go down, it can do neither, go sideways. And if it goes up, then I'll gain. If it goes down, then I'll lose. And I realized that when these cryptos have these types of moves, well, this thing's in the general same ballpark area. It's technically... I accidentally pushed Z on my computer, didn't mean to. But technically, we kind of are supporting this previous level. What I want to try to do... I don't usually do this. But you can just... Yeah, I can see how nicely that support... Here, over here. This is like so super long-term analysis. And now as it plays out... Some of these moves, I like how it's grinding within it. That's why I'm back in it. Trading it against Hedera. Trading it against that of... so I can trade Hedera on the Bittrex exchange. And I'm trading this against... no, I traded F by mistake. Theta on the Binance exchange. And PivX getting in another wallet. Fun, easy, cheap. Withdrawal fees cheap. That's what I like as well. Thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.